So let's pull up my stream now so I can watch what we're doing. And then we will stream for a few hours. That last stream was a lot, so we probably won't do that again. Why is this not coming up? Why is my junk not coming up? Okay, no. Open it up now, come on. Man, this is driving me absolutely cuckoo. It's driving me crazy. I can't even open up my stream to see what we're doing. Oh my goodness. Come on now. There we go. Okay. So we have that open now. So we take it to all messages so we can see what's going on. Move that just a... well, yeah, hold on. Move this a little bit closer. There we go. Okay. The topic, or the main topic today, because we've covered Risk, all this stuff. There is an impending dread I've been feeling, and it seems like a lot of people are feeling it, and I don't know. Oh shit! Don't know what it is exactly, because it's not just. I mean, yes, YouTubers are talking about it, but it seems like a lot of people are beginning to feel it pretty intensely now. One thing someone said, or suggested, one YouTuber suggested, was maybe a war is coming. Maybe that is the psychic junk getting kicked up in the noosphere. I'm not sure. Excuse me. But it is getting hard to ignore. And the dread is getting a little more difficult to deal with. Because even with all this psychic talk stuff going on in the atmosphere, the noosphere, or whatever, you wonder if it's all actual, if it's all factual, if there is actually something wacky going on. And I'm not sure, because it could just as easily be personal dishappiness or unhappiness mixing with other stuff, chemical stuff, and the world's not being in the best state at the moment. Maybe it's just a phase, because you do have these phases. I mean, whatever you're feeling, there are probably reasons for it. But those feelings don't last. Because why whatever it is you're feeling has come together the way it has, that underlying feelingness seems disconnected with what you, quote, should be feeling. Meaning that's another thing that's largely outside your control. You can try to have control over what you feel, but that never really works. You feel whatever it is you feel, and then you look for reasons why you're feeling that way. You've had moments in your life you should be miserable and you aren't, for no reason. This one's trickier because there are reasons to be feeling bad. But it feels like there's more to it than that. It feels like there's more going on. Oh, why do you freeze up on me? Come on now. Son of a bitch. Just stinking. Just straight up foulness. That's how I feel. If I could just start screaming like that, that's exactly what I would do. I don't think we're supposed to be in this area right now. But that's okay. Because, yeah, okay. Well, the other night I killed Godric. I got up to the Altus Plateau, but I don't remember where. I did it the magma worm route. I don't remember the way you're supposed to do it. I got the half thing from that Albinauric. I don't remember where the other half is. But yeah, I'm not doing... It's weird, damage in this game, because I'm not doing much damage here. I was doing a lot of damage elsewhere. Maybe we'll go up to the Altus Plateau and poke around, see what there is to see. Or maybe we won't. Because I know there's something. Yeah, I feel like I missed something back here. But that comes up into the... That comes up into Caelid, right? Yeah, that comes up into Caelid. Excuse me. Maybe we will. Yeah, I've had some time off. I go back to work at the start of the new year. And I am really not looking forward to it. There is that sinking dread in the stomach. That's probably where we need to go. But I don't know how to get up there. So maybe we will poke around, come back here and poke around, see if we can't find another way back up. Still sitting and thinking about risks, what risks we're supposed to be taking, or what we're supposed to be doing. Because it feels like we need to force something to happen. But the thing about trying to force something to happen is you need to be prepared for it not to go right. Hold on. Yeah, you need to be prepared for it not to go right. I was up there, wasn't I? Yeah, I was. So we come up through here. And then make a left and go around. Let's try that. The job market terrifies me. And I'm not sure why, because it shouldn't. But it does. Wait. And I have no idea how other people are hacking it. Or are they not hacking it? I don't want to subsist, is the main thing. I'm preparing for vehicle living. But how long does that last? If everything goes right, even, how long does that last? Ah, son of a gun. The main thing is I don't want to be living in fear my entire life. And the thing a lot of people say is, well, you're only as afraid as you allow yourself to be, or something along those lines. It's the same thing as stoicism, though. It's people who say that, I have a feeling they haven't had real proper reason to be afraid. Son of a bitch. Because that's an easy... I mean, there are a lot of easy things to say. I'm very guilty of this, is I'll have an idea of the way things... Or I'll plan things out, I'll have an idea of the way things are supposed to go. And it's perfectly clear, and it's perfectly reasonable, and it's perfectly rational. It's perfectly prepared. And then you get there, and everything you thought, even if things still look the way you think they're supposed to look, doesn't work, doesn't track, something's wrong. That's also the vector by which you're surprised by reality, though. Positively surprised, because that can happen. Reminds me of the time I went to this... I forced myself to go to this bar to try to socialize, just to see what would happen. This is when I was in university. I think this was just before COVID, actually. And it was a pleasant surprise. Things worked the way they were supposed to, and it ended up being a pretty good time. And that probably would have been... Well, that's hard to say. Would it have been the start of something positive? I don't know, because alcohol was involved. And alcohol is a bait and switch deal. Oh, boy. How did I miss that site of grace? If that was the... How did I miss that? The first time around. Where is it even? Where did it go? Okay, there it is. Shit. Shit. Man, what a combo. Okay, so he's been around. Is that a little thingamabob over there? No, it's not. Alright, well... Well, no, wait, that is the way... That looks to be the way I should be going. So let's try that. I think another part of it, not the... How is it saying there's nothing there? Another part of it is when I have something that is producing, if I have a field that is producing crops, I am far less inclined, even if it's not the best, I'm not inclined to throw it away. Because a bird in the hand worth two in the bush is one way to look at it. Another way to look at it would be... There's not really a good way to look at it. Fear of losing which little you have, and it being replaced with either nothing or pain. So when you have something that works, even if it's not ideal, my instinct is to hold on to it. I recognize that as something that holds me back, though. But that's another thing, is people act like these quotes flaws, and I hesitate to call that. Well, another way to put it or look at it is, traits are flaws only once they stop serving you. That trait is good when you have nothing, or when you're afraid of losing everything, or when you need to hold on to something. It's not so good when you know, or you feel like there's something more that you're missing out on. Oh, God. Asshole. The main issue at my job... Well, there are a bunch of issues at that job. But... the main one is... I don't mind just doing as I'm told and not thinking about it or not asking questions, whatever. Shit. As long as the person who's in charge takes responsibility for what they do and treats me well. You do that, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. But that stopped being the situation at my job when that last president lost his mind. And now what he started doing is exactly what the current honcho is doing. Okay, yeah, so this is the way up. Why didn't I find a site of grace out here? Was it just not looking or something? So things at the non-profit are going poorly. And I'm getting scapegoated harder now because we have even less room to fuck around than we did. And I don't appreciate it much. It's not at this point yet, but it's building to the point, or it's becoming a job that you know you're going to tell everyone to go fuck themselves by the end. That's the way this is. That's the direction this is going. And it doesn't have to be this way, because we all knew this wasn't going to last, especially operating the way we operated, but nobody wants to do anything different. And just really stupid stuff. Baffling stuff. The sort of people who... If a ship is sinking, and there are life rafts, but the life rafts have expired, let's say, they'd rather drown than try to use an expired life raft. That's the doctrine. But that's not going to accomplish anything. One. Damn it, man. Why is there no way up there? There's got to be some way to get up there. I'm just not seeing it. Rhea Lucaria Crystal Tunnel. Yeah, what am I missing? Is there a torrent jump point around here or something? Maybe I'll go down there and poke around. Poke around up here first. But yeah, my the other side of it is there are other people that could be scapegoated if scapegoating wanted to go on, but that's not really something that needs to be done because it's nobody's fault if we're choosing to continue doing things this way. I mean, it's everybody's fault, I guess you could say. Oh, wait, hold on. There was a road I didn't take up here, wasn't there? Did I not go up and around that way? So we come around up here. I'm right here. Shit. Alright, well, I guess we'll go through... We'll pick somewhere to go. Yeah, maybe we'll just go up here. Be done with it. Anyway, the reason I'm getting scapegoated is I'm the employee. Which is... That's part of what you do. I think if you're in a leadership position in a company, especially one that's run by a board, is if you need to remember, and this is something I think people don't understand, is CEOs are really not the people you should be looking at, or executive directors of nonprofits. If you're looking for people to point fingers at, don't point them at CEOs or executive directors, because they're the ones who exist for fingers to be pointed at them, right? You think a CEO or an executive director is some grand leader, and it's not. You're really a living target, so you soak all of the issues or damage, public outrage, so your board members, for-profit or non-profit, can stay protected. And I know that. I've known that. I mean, you can't do a job like this without accepting it at least a little bit. But I still really do not like it. Because when you're trying to do your job well, when you care about your job, yeah, I gotta be missing something. Okay, so maybe we go around... Yeah, okay, we go around there. We go around there and see what's on the other side of the fields. The other side, I mean, I was thinking about how would I feel if I went and got a shit job. Low stress, nothing going on. Maybe take a pay cut, even though I'm not really making that much to begin with. I think I would feel less stressed or more fulfilled momentarily. But I know that wouldn't last because you'll always find something to feel dissatisfied with. Or something will always happen. And that's another thing. People always say you need to change your perspective and all this, but you can try to change your perspective all you want. That doesn't change the facts of things. It doesn't change what you are. I mean, I know there are some people who, if you put a different person in the position I'm in right now, they'd be handling it fine, or they might even be flourishing in this shit. There's a sort of person who can do that. But if you're not that sort of person, the idea you can change it is... It feels like a gigantic psyop or some societal cope for people who need to continue existing. They need to feel like things can get better, or they can change things they actually well and truly can't change. So the other option would be to accept it, or try to figure out how to accept it. But you can't accept it either. It's one of the reasons one aspect of No Solution, No Salvation speaks to me the way it does is part of life is the fact your base existence is all life will be. Maybe there's a way to play that. I mean, I was thinking about it, or I was just thinking about it as I was talking. Maybe the way to do it is to try to focus on the things you care about from your perspective. But if your baseline state, if your baseline perspective is defined by feeling this way, it's temporary. Maybe you will feel good for a time, and that'd be good. But you'll never fully escape what you're feeling right now. Bastard. And it's so weird, the fact... I don't know if it's this way. I have a feeling it's this way for a lot of people, but... You reach a certain age... We were talking about this the other day, but the narrowing. You realize... If you want to get anything done, you need to choose realistic goals within your boundaries. I mean, I still think about conquering the world properly. I'd still love that. That's probably not going to happen, though. The point I was getting to was, it feels like dreaming is impossible now. And when I say dreaming, I don't even mean simple, really simple dreams, like owning your own home. I mean the simplest dreams. The simplest dreams feel impossible now. This guy's a bit... You're supposed to... Am I supposed to have already been into Raya Lucaria? I feel like I should already be... I feel like you're not supposed to meet him until after you fight him in his boss form. Alright, you son of a bitch. Yep, alright, okay. Please, God, let me just heal. Okay, hold on. We can do this. And he's just gonna get me with it again. Okay, alright. Oh, that scared the shit out of me. Wow, that comes out fast, huh? Goodness. Oh, am I gonna get greedy and I'm gonna lose? Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and heal right now. And I'm gonna heal one more, you son of a bitch. Okay, alright. Well, that's fine. We'll do that again. You can't even dream of beating a field boss that you were supposed to have beaten earlier, I guess. I remember the first time I played this game, this happened. I found this dude in this area before I think you're supposed to find him. This keeps happening. But smaller dreams. There are certain states I'd love to live in and experience. But it's not doable in a safe way. Or I mean, in a... Okay, alright. I didn't even hire my dude, did I? No, I didn't. Okay, I'm just gonna die here, and then... Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, I didn't know you could follow that up. Oh, okay, alright. Well, that's good. Mm-hmm. Ah, boy, come on. Why are you like this? Why do you keep doing this to me? For the love of God. Okay. Okay, alright. Jesus Christ. Ugh. Now, what was the purpose of that? I didn't get anything from that. Yeah, I feel like you're supposed to enter Rhea Lucaria earlier or somewhere else. Okay, closer up here? Oh yeah, maybe you can jump over there. Okay. But yeah, working full-time, well, full-time plus a little bit. Not by a ton, not, I mean, when it gets busy more, but I don't know how much earlier most people wake up to go to their jobs. I feel like I have to wake up an hour and a half earlier just to mentally prepare myself for what's about to happen. So that's, let's say, 9.5 hours. Now I don't get a lunch technically. I get 30 paid minutes, but I'm still on the clock technically because it's better to me than doing the split shifting thing, the 8 to 5. My hours are fucked, but I have an actual 9 to 5 technically, which I appreciate very much. But you get home and you don't have a lot of time for anything. Okay, there's the crossover. So it's down that way. Yeah, okay. Okay. So I didn't need to come back here. We'll poke around over here. Oh, there's the Everjail. Maybe we'll try that out. Yeah, we'll try this out. Is there a... There's not a stake here. And time is moving so fast now. Alright, let's do this. Who are you? Oh, yeah, that guy. Okay, I know who you are. I know exactly who you are. You're that fella. Boy. Come on now. Son of a bitch. Yeah, he has those weird movements. Can I backstab him? No, I can't. Son of a bitch. Okay. Well, he's not that hard, so if we need to come back with full flasks, that shouldn't be a problem. That hit me. That's embarrassing. I can throw shit too. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Come on, asshole. Please, for the love of God. Ay, 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 okay. Alright. Okay. Okay. Applying snuff. And it's really nice. Opens you up, lightens you up. Makes you sound a little nasally. But snuff is really nice. Because unlike tobacco, I know some people like the way tobacco smells. At least pipe tobacco. A lot of people hate the way cigarettes smell. I like the way cigarettes smell personally, but people like the way cigars smell, pipe tobacco smells, whatever. Or when you're smoking it, you don't smell it like that. All you do is taste it, and for me, I've never understood people who maybe it's the same thing with wine. I don't taste wine in a special way. You have those in grade school. You have those science experiments. One of our teachers passed around these strips, and you put them on your tongue in ascending order, and it's a taste sensitivity test. So some people's tastes, their sense of taste, is way more developed than others, and some people have very weak tastes. I have very weak taste, I learned. I have, whatever the scale was, I can't taste shit. My taste sensitivity is just, it's over. Alright, this son of a bitch. He's coming around. He's coming around, right? He's coming around, right? He's coming around. Oh. Okay. Thank God. Alright. And the reason I brought that up was, so when people drink wine, they're able to taste wine in some sophisticated way. Some people act like you can't, or that's all a lie. I believe in it, especially after that taste test thing. There's some things you don't believe until you see them. Some people have palates that are that refined. At least I think they are. I mean, there are the specificity with which some of those sommeliers can detect shit, and then on top of that, seeing the taste test, I believe it completely. Same with the pipe tobacco. It's I completely believe some people can taste pipe tobacco in a way that I can't. Which is a little sad, because I like tobacco. I like smoking it. I mean, it does feel good. But I'm not getting the same experience someone who can taste it properly would. You son of a gun. Whereas with snuff, I can taste that pretty good. Wait a second. Okay, so maybe I haven't explored this area as thoroughly as I thought I did. Well, that's nice. I don't want to skip anything. I want to do everything in this run. So what do you sell here? Bones. I don't even know what that means. Arrows. Composite bow. Blue crest. I mean, fuck it, why not? We'll buy a bunch of arrows, too. Forget about it. Who cares? I can't, and the thing is, I can't even... We were talking about dreams. I can't even begin to imagine what my ideal life that I could actually achieve would look like. That's maybe what I'm talking about. Obviously, the YouTube channel taking off would be cool. But I don't see that happening, and I'm fine with that because I like the channel where it is. It's comfortable. I get to enjoy what I do without stressing it too much. I make a little money out of it, or it leaves me open for opportunities to make money in certain circumstances, which I enjoy. Oh, shit. Oh, wow, okay, yeah, this is the way I needed to go. I'm glad we were able to work that out. So we'll go back around and we'll try to get up to that castle, maybe. But anyway, part of the reason it's hard not to stagnate is once you've gotten yourself into a situation that you can survive in, you're less inclined to throw it away because what are you motivated to move toward? I think risk-taking is a lot easier when you know, or at least believe, in things you could gain by risking. Whereas in a situation like this, there's nothing to gain, because realistically, the only good life I can imagine is sustaining myself day to day without breaking my body and having time to do YouTube or stuff like this. That's it. Okay, yeah, this is the way to Raya Lucaria, I think. But even if this is the way to Raya Lucaria... Well, no, because you could... Okay, yeah. You don't need to go this route to get in there. Is that all she had to say? I like Bach. Oh, hey, there's Bach. Okay. I didn't like the tone he said that with. But that's okay. Let's see... Is this a teleport thing? What's the deal? A glintstone key. Is this where you have to go back to that dude to get his key or something? That's not helpful. Well, maybe it is helpful, but we already found the coward's passage. We don't want to go that way yet. Throw yourself into the waters, she said. But we're not going to jump off this cliff. So I imagine things I like doing. I like making YouTube videos. I like organizing things. Thanks to the job, I like putting events together. I like connecting things people need with people who need them. What would my ideal day-to-day be? Maybe we'll start there. We wake up whenever we feel like waking up. Oh, who are you? Okay, we wake up whenever we feel like waking up, first. Have the morning to ourselves to prep, maybe an hour of prep for whatever it is. Check in on people who are doing something, or maybe not a daily thing, but make it a habit of seeing what people are up to. If they need any help or anything like that. Spend the morning on communication bullshit. We were just here, weren't we? Or were we not? Yeah, we were just here. Okay, so we go up there. Yeah, so the morning is spent on communications, checking on people. And the idea with checking on people would be to have a few people hired to be doing something. Maybe local politics stuff, or people staying in the loop so they can keep me in the loop, but keep me well in the loop because that's what they're doing the full time. Lunch, I don't eat breakfast, I don't eat lunch. I'd love to live in a world in which I can... Well, no, I mean, really, no breakfast, no lunch. I'd probably stick with that. But be sure to make dinner a really big thing. Because dinner is the best. I didn't realize there were cultures that prioritized other meals. Even though people in the United States say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, it feels more like people prioritize dinner. Have we already gone this route? It's not going to hurt anything if we do. Afternoon spent making videos or something, or streaming, whatever it is. Oop. Then that evening dinner. evening me time for whatever. I mean, one of the things I like in life a lot is not doing anything. I... Oh. Oh my god. Shit. I very much enjoy having nothing on the schedule, having nothing going on, not really doing anything. I like that a lot. As long as there is stuff happening in the background that I need to worry about or feel good about or can feel good about. Oh, that's where that's coming from. Okay. Jeez, Manetti. Oh, Christ alive. Okay. I'm gonna die here, aren't I? Please, God. What an awful noise that is. Yeah, we'll get out the one sword so we can focus on this and make sure we win. I would take a part-time job. I mean, I would love to work a part-time job that paid... If I could work half the hours I do now but get paid a little bit less, that would be ideal, I think. Can I kill this? No, I can't, I guess. Well, that's fine. So now we just poke around up here. Okay. But as you can see from my imagining a perfect day in the life, there's not a lot to that, but it also feels completely unrealistic. As in, I don't need a lot as a person. Because of the way my life is panned out, if I have the square footage of a bedroom, a small bedroom, and a bathroom, that's all I need to feel comfortable. I don't need a lot of space. I don't own a lot of shit. The dream would be, or would involve, living in a shitty apartment, living in a shitty itty-bitty apartment. Yeah, living in a shitty itty-bitty apartment should be a choice you're able to make so you can have better things, or other things. I'll never understand how we've gotten to the point that shitty little apartment is the thing you need to sacrifice almost all of your life to get a hold of and then to maintain. Is that... As in, that should be... That sort of minimal or less shit lifestyle you would think would be, I'll take this as a penalty so I can have more time to myself, or so I can be freer. And that's not the way it works. That what should be a penalty or would be a penalty in any other time. Or not in any other time, because I recognize the fact we're very lucky, quotes, to be in our times. What would be a penalty in earlier times, in your parents' times, grandparents' times, is the ultimate goal, and that's not much of a goal. Because you have it, and then what? I say you have it. You don't really have it, per se. You don't own it. It'll be taken from you out of nowhere. Something will happen. And this little slice of shit that you worked so hard to get a hold of, it's gone. I'm not missing something, am I? I have the lantern. I'll look this up in a second, but I kind of want to try to figure this out. We figured out the other ones so far. Light the way. May erudition light the way. Now, well, we're probably going to look it up here in a moment. Erudition light the way. Yeah, we came down here and there was nothing down here. We have the torch out. Or is this supposed to reveal something we're supposed to attack? Ah, okay, there we go. Oh, no? Wait, what the fuck? Hold on. That's... I'm not crazy, right? Like, that tree is all fucked up. Oh, is it a path? Is that the game? Does it go away if I take the lantern off? Or, oh no, hold on. So the flowers, they're light. The flowers are light. No. Well, it's not gonna hurt anything to have the lantern on anyway. May erudition light the way. These trees stand out. They're important for something. Or is it not the lantern? Do I need an actual torch? It's probably an actual torch. No? Not that either? Yeah, I'm gonna look this up. Converted Fringe Tower. Boy. I'm gonna be really angry if it does have something to do with those trees. What is the solution? Wow. Oh, that's so stupid. Erudition gesture in front of the statue. Oh, that's dumb. Man, that's not really a... I mean, that is a puzzle, I guess, but that's not really a puzzle. Alright, well, that spoiled the fun. That doesn't change the fact there is something up with that tree. That tree reflects light differently from the other trees, and it's also dead. Do I even have a glintstone crown? I don't. Alright. Well, that's kind of a bummer. But that's okay. So, there's a village over there. We'll go over there next. My problem, another problem in this, aside, because I don't think it's just the risk-taking thing. It's also, probably, the fact I don't learn shit very well. A lot of people say they're fast learners or all this. No, I'm a very slow learner. Once I understand something, I understand it very well. And one of the benefits of my life is I can usually expand on things once I know it really well. Once I know something, I can make it better. But it's that getting to know the thing process that takes me forever and does not come naturally. And I don't know why that is. I feel like when I was younger, I used to learn pretty quickly, and now I don't. I mean, I'd love to own a business. I have, technically, I have a business. I still have my S-Corp that I pay $60 a year to maintain, but I don't do anything with because the government stole my fucking money. They stole $60 from me. I've told this story before. Told it a few times before. I'll tell it again. I sent them... Stupid me, though. I trusted the government. I sent them cash for my sales tax license, and they stole it. And that's irritating. And another thing, man. Why... I don't understand why governments make... If you want to do things the right way, they make it next to impossible. I was reading about this has been a few years now, but every so often I'll start reading about peddlers' licenses because I want to do peddler shit. But the problem is a peddler's license is harder to get than a sales tax license. So, if I'm remembering correctly, last time I read it, it was something about sales tax licenses go by state, but then peddler's licenses are by county. So you have to get a state thing, and then you have to get a county thing. And how long, this is government work, how long is that going to take to get anything? And then there was this... That was another thing I didn't understand was... You're required... You're required to pay yourself an hourly wage? With what? How are you supposed to pay yourself an hourly wage when you have no money in your company? Starting out... It's... And I'm sure I'm misunderstanding this utterly. Because I've seen people start... I mean, there's some people who start their own businesses for nothing, just all the time starting businesses. And I know, at least I'm pretty sure, they aren't paying themselves an hourly wage It makes no sense to me, and I know I'm misunderstanding this. But it makes getting into anything very difficult. Which is one of the reasons I think the way I've been doing my taxes, I haven't been listing YouTube earnings or Fiverr earnings or Patreon earnings under my company. I've been doing it myself or under myself, and that hasn't been a problem. Oh, am I getting... I'm... Right. I'm getting invaded, okay. Boy. Alright, come on. Oh, right, this is that guy. Okay. I remember you. I do remember you. Shit! No, my god! Okay. Alright. Wow, that happened really fast. We can do this, though. No problems. But yeah, the government makes it, at least it feels like, for a person who is not built that way, or not connected like that, it feels like they try to make it difficult so you don't do it. I mean, there are people who don't do all that shit. One of my informal uncles, ran a business for years and didn't pay taxes ever, had no paperwork ever, and he never got in trouble for it. But that's a risk you don't want to take, because you know if it's you, whatever can go wrong will go wrong. So it's not even worth the risk. Asshole! Oh, you motherfucker. No, my god. What the hell? Wow, we got it. Okay. Sick. Super sick. Boy. Please let this be the key. No. Alright. We have so many sacred tears and not enough health to make it matter. Maybe... Well, I don't know. The other part of it is I am absolutely terrified of getting into any kind of legal trouble solely because of how fast, how quickly that can go wrong. And people, this is another thing, there is some major doublethink going on, especially with people who love cops, because these are the people who, the sort of person who loves cops, will look at a country like Germany and criticize them for arresting people and giving them these big sentences for doing stupid shit or simple shit as simple as a social media post. But then they love cops, but at the same time, they don't that's not the way I wanted to phrase that. That is the case, but that's not the point I wanted to make. How do I want to make this point? Oh, that's what it is. They think it can't happen to them. The reason they're allowed or able to have this doublethink is they believe it can't happen to them. And people don't realize that it can happen to them. And all it takes is once for your life to get fucked raw. In the same way, all it takes is once for you to get shot in a mugging or something. It's over that fast. And that's another reason when people urge me or tell me or others to take risks. Yes, I recognize the need to take risks, especially now. But usually the people who talk about taking risks a lot are people who have never been bitten, not only by taking risks, but in general. You get once bitten, twice shy, that's the saying. Although I think the context for that one is different. It was a good song. Did I go down there? Yeah, we'll go down there and then we'll come back there and pick up whatever that is. I'm gonna have... I'll look up where the other half of that stupid thing is. I swear we should be able to... We should be in Raya Lucaria by now. But it's not happening. I suppose one of my realistic dreams is to get a better computer. But the thing about... That's... Oh my god, man. What do you need a really strong computer for other than gaming? When I don't really do a ton of hard gaming anymore. I don't have... I mean, I like my gaming. It's what I spend a lot of my free time doing. But the thing is, now... Even if you use all your free time gaming, that still doesn't amount to a lot of gaming. And what are you paying for that? Or what are you sacrificing to get a nice gaming setup? You're sacrificing stuff you could be using to make your life less terrifying. So you stick with a computer that's almost 10 years old. I've thought about buying pre-builts or something. Because looking back, I don't know what the prices are now. I have a feeling it's going to be so much worse, especially if you want to get something nicer. But I have a PC, or a PC I put together. But that cost, I think, $2,500, and that was in the late 2010s, or mid to late 2010s. It had to be after... It might have been 2018, 2017 I put my PC together. But all I want to do is save money. So I can spend it on things that I feel like I need, or at least will make me feel safer. Okay. Yeah, let me look up how to get into Raya Lucaria. Because this is ridiculous. How to get into Raya Lucaria. Yeah. Glintstone Dragon Smaragd. Purified Ruins. Well, where is the glintstone key? The Site of Grace. Okay, glintstone dragon key, or glintstone. Not Glonky. Glintstone Key. Alright, there it is. So, the Glintstone Key is here, apparently. That's one thing I don't like about Elden Ring very much, is if you miss something, you really miss it. It's not super... it's just easy to miss things. And important things, too. But yeah, let's go do Rhea Lucaria. Ooh, what is that? I almost missed that. Oh, that's a big one. Okay. I'm kind of starting to lose my mind a little bit. In general, not in relation to Elden Ring or in life, specifically. General. I hate rats. I hate dogs. I had my shield up. Okay. Alright, what did he have? I wish there were, it would be, or I shouldn't say I wish for, it would be cool if there were a blueprint, a cosmic advice giver. Well, it's funny, and that's funny because we kind of technically sort of have that with tarot, but I mean specific as in no interpretation, straight up, do this, you're in this situation, do this to get beyond it or get out of it, whatever. Okay. Yeah, there's shit up here that I'm supposed to find, and I'm just not gonna find it, I think. Or I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's go deal with the Rhea Lucaria bullshit. Man. In the past, I've thought about running the channel a different way. Or starting a second channel or something and running that in a more, quotes, professional fashion. As in, rehash every single one of my old typology videos with better production. Hire an editor. Hire someone to make everything look and sound good. I've thought about doing that. Oh, that's cool. But the thing about that is, YouTube is weird. You never have any idea what will or won't work. I'm shocked my channel is where it is at all. Truly shocked. But at the same time, you have the rise of these... You have the rise of these channels making videos over Call of Duty or something. It reminds me of the old cut commentary style videos with... I don't even remember the channels' names, but League of Legends back in the day, there were a lot of them. All the people do is they play video games and talk. There's no production. Is that what I'm missing? Is it... Would having a game playing in the background really make a major difference? Because there are channels that have... To be fair, I haven't seen many that are huge. But you see channels that have maybe 20, 30 videos, but they'll have 20 or 30,000 subscribers, and all they do is these gaming comment... Okay, alright. gaming commentary, and that's kind of it. And I could be doing that. I mean, I could be doing that. But at the same time, I don't know. The true issue is I like the way I'm doing things right now. I enjoy. Back in the day, back in the day, that actually wasn't that long ago. Remember when we had only the black screen? I enjoyed that. I enjoyed having black screen videos. And other people, there were other people who liked that also, because it was a stark fuck you to a lot of things. We don't do that now. Why don't we travel into the city? Yeah, we'll go in through that route. I don't know what the difference would make, or if it would make a difference, but we'll find out. Oh, hey, there we go. We're already right here. Great. See, I can't believe... What? Don't tell me that's supposed to tell me where it is. Don't tell me. Wow. Alright, I'm a fool. But why would they put... Oh my god. You're shitting me, dude. So you come up here... You sit at the side of Grace, and you don't go up to the gate. 2 inches makes all the difference. That is shocking. That is truly, truly shocking. That son of a bitch right there. That is shocking to me. Wow. Alright. But we know now. Shit. I'm gonna run to the restroom. And we'll grab another drink. Ow, my ass. Ugh. Run to the restroom. Be right back. God. I think what I'm missing from life, or what I feel life is missing, I think what I feel is missing from life is the guaranteed outcome. the knowledge or the idea you can do X to get Y. Formula life. It is there's no formula to anything. Even shit that's supposed to be a perfect formula that's supposed to work correctly always at all times. It don't work. I don't know why they don't work. Because when you think about it, life is actually formulaic. You go out into the wild, there's a way to do things, but when you get humans involved, isn't that what gives it a bit of a thrill? That's kind of fucking retarded. No, well, yeah, I suppose it's exciting. Exciting isn't the word I would use. It's exciting if you know it's going to be good things, but when it's only bad things, or it's mostly bad things, no. Give me formulas. Every time. Okay, so this is the way in. In the rules, there are... Do you like buying a product that you spend a lot of money on and realizing you've been sold shit? Or someone lied to you about something, passed it over, so they could sell you and now you're in a position not to get it back? Or when you take care of a vehicle really well and then it breaks anyway, is that exciting to you? Is that thrilling? Do you enjoy that? That's fucking dumb. But that's what I'm talking about. What's the... No, never mind. Ain't the same I chose to buy a product, but I didn't choose to be alive. I didn't chose to be alive. Okay. So, are you complaining about being alive? What's the deal? That's kind of a non sequitur. That doesn't connect to anything. What point are you making? Or was that something you said because it sounds good to say that? Because you like imagining yourself as someone who can take risks, or likes things not working the way they're supposed to. Aren't you complaining about being alive too? Yes, I am complaining about being alive. That's something I do. That's something everybody does. Why are you... Okay, so it was a wanting to feel like you're somebody who can enjoy risks thing. It's a self-image thing. It's the sentimentality shit. That's the kind of thing... You know, the goal is to find people who smell that sort of thing immediately. Because I don't like it, personally. And when I go immediately, the moment it pops up, it seems like it's coming out of nowhere, but it doesn't. Oh, you son of a bitch. Okay, jump down. Then again, that's all most people can really do. They can't do anything, so the best they can do is try to make themselves feel like they're people who can deal with things that you can't deal with. The reason I dislike that is it's fabulously unproductive in terms of trying to find ways to do anything about it. Trying to find ways to fix anything. And on top of that, that sort of person usually, and I don't know why they're like this, but... Well, no, I know exactly why they're like this. It's because they need to feel that way. We've talked about this 1,000 times on the channel, but... people need to defend what they believe works for them. But if they're specced into something that isn't actually working, that's a cope. I don't like using that word very often. Because it's like conspiracy theory. It's a dismissal word. They tend to get in the way and to make it difficult for people. They put themselves between people who are trying to figure out actual solutions. And it's such a waste of time. It kind of is, yeah, manifesting the self-image of someone that's able to deal with unpredictability. The hope I may become that. And it's not going to happen. There aren't people who can deal with the... what's it called? Nobody can beat life is the way I want to say it. The most you can do is develop a system that works at the worst of times. But even if you develop a system or become a person who can deal with things at the worst of times, that's still not going to do you very well. Because the worst of times, the worst of times, nobody can beat those. But then with the... and it's such a passive thing. Fuck. Hold on. Son of a bitch. I don't know how to explain that to people who don't get it immediately. It's because what they're doing, or probably pride is the reason it sets me off immediately, is they're interrupting you, or they're trying to get you to validate them in this false image, and not even this false image, but this useless image. They're trying to get you to do it for them. Oh, fucking Christ. I'm not a big MDE fan, but one of my favorite things Sam Hyde said that gets pretty close to what I'm talking about is people who Oh, is that a way to get down? Let me tell you another story in which I'm the hero, in which I did something and everything worked out perfectly and I was the best. That's because what that is, they're fucking your ear, or they're fucking your time to try to make them believe something about themselves because they can't believe in it themselves, which is why they aren't doing anything, which is why they're talking to you about this shit. And it's a common thing, admittedly. But it's infuriating. Maybe it's just dealing with that sort of person a lot in life. But the sort of person you ask, what do you think about this or overcoming this problem? And then they give you some TED Talk speech about nothing. But that implies that you asked them. Most of the time, they don't, you don't ask them, they show up. That's another part that bothers me, is it's using you. They're using you to accomplish a self-image thing. They're getting in your way. I have no idea why people don't see it. There are a lot of things. Because another thing, people talk to you in this self-image reaffirming way. Look at, or get them to, because they rarely ever are doing anything much different from anybody else, is the thing. Most of them don't have some big life strat, they don't have some shit going on. They're just some fucking people who are using your time or trying to get your attention for free. It's not even worth it. That's... son of a bitch. Part of the reason it's probably so frustrating is it never... I don't know why, as common as this shit is, I don't know why people don't see it. And it feels like it should be obvious, because, again, it happens so frequently. This is what most people are doing. Do you not get sick of it? Do you not get tired of it? Do you... How many times in your life do you need some shit that doesn't work? Or how many times does some shit like that either need not to work, or for you to get to a certain point and realize that it was insubstantial? You're not going to get anywhere on positive thinking, or sentimental thinking, rather. Hold on. It's not about being different or external validation, really. It's the closest thing to a cope that's believable, maybe. No, it is validation. It is, and I'm not saying... I feel bad sometimes, because I know most people don't mean it. Or aren't thinking about it in that way, but it's It's incessant. And that's another thing. You mentioned being different, external validation. Those are copes. Because what are two of people's biggest fears? Most people's biggest fears. I mean, everybody's biggest fears, really. It's insubstantiality, your ego not mattering as much as you think it is or does or should, and not having anything to base the idea that you do matter on. Which is why people rely on sentiments, which is why people do this. I mean, that's part of, to be fair, that's part of why, well, not to be fair, to be completely real, that's part of why I do YouTube. It's seeking the same sort of validation. The difference would be trying not to use the sentimentality. It's like, it is what it is. Okay, people love it is what it is. And and it's more than that. They wear it is what it is. Oh my god, that was actually a thing. Like a badge of honor. And that's great until a person reaches a point. It is what it is not, like, it's not sustainable. You're using it is what it is as a way to make yourself feel okay or to dismiss something, but then you run into it's the same thing we were talking about with Stoicism. You run into a situation you can't dismiss or positive think your way out of, and then that's it. Well, not that's it, but that's usually a larger blow to the brain software you're running, realizing that something you believed strongly doesn't work or isn't effective in the way you hoped it was. I don't know. Holy Oath of Solipsism cures that. Yeah. Yeah. True. That's true. Narcissism is a really powerful tool, wielded correctly. And that's not even a snarky thing. I think more people should be narcissistic. But then you get into shit, you get into build crafting with narcissism. So what is your narcissistic foundation? What are you basing your narcissism on? What is the likelihood that foundation will remain intact? Maybe that's a course. Should put together a course to sell because we have all the answers. We have the way to fix everybody. Put together a course on how to be narcissistic the best. Son of a bitch. There was a... Oh, he went over there? I thought he was on the stairs. Now, hold on. Let me... Is accepting death... I don't know what that means. Issue is only know what works for me and never help other people. Alright, let me get back. Let me try to get back into my rhythm here. Jesus. What were we talking? Formulas. We were talking about formulaic existence. Not even a bunch of formulas, necessarily. Some formulas would be good. Small formulas to... Oh, this is a boss. This is that... Yeah, this is that boss. Is there a shortcut? I feel like there should be a shortcut. Let me see if I can't open this up. Or if there is one. Well, no, because we just ran down a corridor, right? There was nothing else there. We did miss that, though. Yeah, we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Alright, let's do this. We beat him in the fields, we should be able to beat him here pretty simply, right? I always end up fighting this dude way later than I think I'm supposed to. So he's usually not the biggest problem. He's gonna kill me though, isn't he? God damn. I didn't need to heal. Can I just be greedy and kill him? Okay. Alright. That's good. Okay. We're doing okay. So that would be, we need 3,400 something more. Excuse me. Calvin and Hobbes is the formula. I've never read Calvin and Hobbes, but I'm assuming it is or it means that is or that means what I think it is or means. But that's fine. That's perfectly okay. Right, right. There's a thing that goes down there. It is hard to figure out what you should do or what you should want to do when, like, as we were talking about earlier, you don't have or dreaming correctly is difficult. Or they've made dreaming correctly difficult. I feel bad killing the little jars. I am still thinking here. I think one of the problems is you reach a point thinking isn't really doing any good, but at the same time there's nothing else you can do, so you can't just... Or you can recognize that thinking isn't going to get you any further, but then there's nothing else to do, so you have to think about things to do. But then if you try to do something, you again realize there's nothing to think. Or there's nothing to do, so you're bouncing around all over the place. I really don't like mages. Fortunately, I don't really have any desire to travel. I mean, like I said, there are states I wouldn't mind visiting, but actual traveling, not really something I have any interest in doing. Because what else is there to see? I am perfectly contented with the United States. Or at least our land, not our state. You know what I mean? Okay, let's do this. Ah, locking on is a bastard. I'm still thinking about putting together what putting together a website would be something worth doing, or even necessary probably at some point. And it's not like a website would be so expensive that I can't. But I suppose that's another thing you need just to do and then figure out later. I don't know how difficult altering or expanding or scaling websites is. Start with a little website just to keep people updated. Excuse me, or to post your videos or something. Then I mean, I've always thought it'd be cool to run a forum. But that feels like something you would do after your channel is taken off to an extent. Taken off enough to make it worth something anyway. Because nothing is sadder than buying or putting together a nice website, or a nice anything, and then it not being used, all that time and money wasted. But I guess it's not completely wasted because you figured out people don't like something, or won't use something. So this is the thing I'm supposed to get killed by, but we're not going to do that. Come on, asshole. Oh, that has a lot of health. Oh. Okay. That's gross. That's grody. Oh, 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 no, 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 no. Christ alive. This little son of a gun. Oh, he's almost dead. How did that happen? Okay. Why are you like this? Why are you like this? No, no, please, God. Okay. Christ alive. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a glow up going on. Change. Well, I still like this outfit. So we'll go level up. We'll come back. I started getting into palm reading. This was a while ago. But I wanted to start up a palm reading gig for Fiverr. Because although I didn't realize how involved of a process palm reading is. But it is pretty involved. However, there's a lot you can do with palm reading, or there's a lot of work you can do with palm reading, even if you can't handle somebody's hands firsthand. Oh boy, I would love to live I'd love to try living in the Northeast. I'm sure people from there would give me every reason not to like it. But I miss living by the ocean, or living close to the ocean anyway. It was about an hour from the ocean where I lived formerly, but that's really not bad. Especially in the off-season, it's really good. I also like cold weather. I'd love to know how much money, because there are professional psychics quotes out there, but they do all kinds of stuff. I'd love to know how they keep their doors open. Is it similar to what I do with Fiverr, in which they just over time develop a clientele that likes you and is willing to pay a premium to keep the lights on? I'm not sure. But that would be cool to have a little tarot hut, palm reading station, maybe a little astrology thing going on, whatever. Take orders. Maybe sell coffee or something. Not the barista style coffee, but a place to go and sit. When I was in my very first year of university, there was a used bookstore that did something like that I liked quite a lot. I spent a fair amount of time in. It was like a pawn shop kind of. They bought used books and they sold them back for relatively cheap, and then they had a lobby area with coffee and desks and all that. It was nice. I'd like a quaint life. Well, I say I want a quaint life. I'm sure if I got a quaint life, I'd hate it, because it's not prestigious enough. But who gives a shit? Control is the main thing. We talk about pride, and the way pride is my big deal. But pride doesn't... Oh, wow, he goes straight through my shield, huh? But pride is, for me, as much as I like prestige, it's way more about having control over your life, the final say over your life. Is there a shortcut over here? No. That was a miraculous... Not a dodge, I don't know what that was. Maybe the Site of Grace is in here? I guess we'll... Oh, yeah. I bet this is Renala up here. And there's probably a Site of Grace right there. Oh, no? Not even a Stake of Marika? Okay. If this is the run back, oh, that's insanity. No way. No way we're doing that. Not right now. No, sir. That's insane. You're wacky for thinking that. Maybe it's over here? No? Well, we'll keep looking. We're not doing that. That's not our run back. Not happening. It's gotta be over here. Yeah. Okay. So we open up this door. Okay, good. But that's still kind of a shitty run back. Maybe we can open it up from this side? Okay. So we'll give ourselves options. Tarot, I still don't understand the rhyme and reason of how that gig makes money, because some weeks it'll be absolutely nothing happening. Well, some months even, I should say. Some months I won't get an order for, or maybe I'll get one order in a month. And that'll be for... I get $8 out of the $10... Well, $8 before taxes out of the $10 spreads. And then we'll get $200 in a month. Which is still not an insane amount of money, but it's better than nothing, and I like doing the work. I like using my time on that kind of thing. Okay. So, our run back is... That is crazy to me, that we have to do it this way. But that's okay. It's not so bad, because we get over here, and then they can't touch us. Renala is one of those... Wow, that almost shot me in the back. Renala is one of those obnoxious fights with multiple stages, if I'm remembering correctly. But we should be putting out enough damage, it shouldn't be a big issue. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Ay, ay, ay. What is going on here? Oh, right. This is like the Deacons of the Deep. Okay, so I can slice with one, and then we're fine. Right? Oh yeah, Ronnie comes in, right? That's the other stage. Okay, well it's good to know we can bring her down in one go. Come on. Oh, fuck. No. Please, for the love of God, just die. Okay, thank God. Okay, now we can go get the... We can go get the third trinket pack. Oh, and she's... That is so gross. Okay. I guess we'll check out the boss area for a little... Oh, what? Okay. Well, that's fine. I do like this dual-wielding build, because you can put out a lot of I'm not used to being able to put out real damage quickly in Souls games. So it's pretty nice. And it'll get a little bit better after we get that next thingamajig. I can't even begin to imagine what life at 40 will look like. Because part of you... Yeah, I have no idea what life at 40 is going to look like. Because that's going to be here fast. That's going to be here quick as shit. Because we're almost at 30. Clock's a ticking, just about there. Yep. Come on. Okay. Oh. Okay. Good. Okay. So now we can grab or equip the Twin Blade Talisman. So we got a little bit of fun shit going on. We don't need those though. Do I want to change these to anything else? Not especially. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Don't know the lore, what the game's about. Any info about the game? It's the, well, not actually, no, Night Rain. Night Rain is the, oh, is she dead? Hold the phone. Okay. Yeah, it's alright. It's probably the best... It's probably the best Souls game since Dark Souls 1, but today, mostly we are thinking about this weird, negative vibe that it seems like is taking everybody recently. It's not just me. And it's like someone mentioned a while ago, this isn't anything new, per se. However... But, okay. Lots of people are beginning to feel it. I'm beginning to feel it more intensely. A lot of people are beginning to feel it intensely, and it's gotten bad enough that people are... Even normie-type people are beginning to theorize about what's going on. Because it is strange how bad everything is. Or this atmosphere. The psychic weight is heavy. How about we... Oh, okay. How about we get somewhere safe, and then we draw a card? Because this is partially a tarot stream. Okay. I've been trying to reconnect with extended family a bit more lately. Which... oh, shit. That's been okay. I mean, there's a lot of extended family I do not care much about. However, there are a few people... Shit, hold on. Oh my god, why won't it read my inputs? Come on, asshole, let me swing my sword. There are some connections I want to keep up. Familial connections I want to keep up. One I haven't really been contacting much because I didn't think there was any issue. Even though we don't speak much, everything's always fine. But then there are other ones. I mean, there are other ones I don't speak with because I don't care. But there are some I do care about, which do require or would benefit from more attention that I haven't been meeting out well. Meet out, love and affection. Why is that thing... But yeah, that's one of the things, or another one of the things I think about is... part of me assumes my parents are gonna live for a long time. The way, I mean, I've mapped this out in my head how this is gonna go. Almost to the point it feels like a certainty at times, although it's not. Anytime you think anything is certain, it's not. But my mother, because she's tried to be healthy, she will die suddenly within the next 4 years. And unfairly, also. She's tried to make every good decision she can about her health, while everyone around her, me included, is health like shit. So she'll die suddenly from something completely unrelated to her health. And then my father, because pride is his big sin too, and he likes controlling people, and he fought a lot and likes threatening people physically, all this stuff. Likes people to be scared of him, that kind of thing. Because his sin is pride, he won't die. His bad health decisions will catch up to him and cripple him, or something's gonna go wrong. What happened to his father will happen to him, and he'll be forced to live out the rest of his life, and it'll probably be a long life, unable to wield power and physical force and scare people and all that. That's my assumption. And we got a test run of that originally. I mean, I figured something like that was going to happen. I told everybody I knew something like that was going to happen. And everybody was calling me an asshole, saying that I shouldn't think like that, it's wrong for me to think like that, and then it happened. He almost died. He was out of commission for a little over 6 months. Physically weak, couldn't do anything. And he still tried to get into a fucking fight with a dude, is the thing that amazes me. You can barely walk, and you're gonna mouth off to some able-bodied young dude? I don't know. But that's the pride I'm talking about. And I talk about... I don't hate my father. I have hated my father, but I don't hate my father anymore. It's... There's no other way... What are their MBTI types? There's no other way for him to be. So... And he's never gonna change. I wish we could have had a better relationship. And maybe I tried to do that a lot when I was a kid. Tried to have a better relationship with him on his terms, and that didn't work. This last year I tried to do some things to have a better relationship with him, but it was... Well, we talked about that in the Thanksgiving video. It was not only not enough, but apparently totally unnoticed. So maybe I'm trying again now. Maybe that's what I'm doing. Maybe I took what he said to heart. Because I think he was right. Partially. I mean, I knew he was lying and overblowing it a bit, saying the entire family hates me. I knew then they didn't hate me. But I checked, and the vibes, yeah, they didn't like me. They had some kind of problem with me, and it was in part because I wasn't keeping in touch very much. Maybe once or twice a year or something. So he was right. He was right about that, and I'm working on fixing it. Where it... With the people I care to fix it with. I mean, there's one... For example, there's one family member, extended family member, I probably won't be contacting more than once a year, but he doesn't contact anybody either. I'm the only person in the family he even talks to. So it's fine. But I do think sometimes about what's going to happen with my life when I'm older. I mean, I don't have I don't have brothers and sisters, which is I wanted brothers and sisters, but and I know people love to hold that when you're an only child. People love to hold that against you, including your parent, including your parents. Yeah, but my mother's uterus was all kinds of fucked up, which was led me to believe for a while maybe I was adopted or something because I'm white. A little sussy. I'm white. But no, as I've gotten older, I'm my father's son. Makes me it's so weird too because we're in a lot of ways we're complete opposites. In almost every way we're complete opposites. Every superficial way, I should say. But when you go down to the core, when you go all the way down to the core, we're basically the same person. Proud, insecure, aggressive. Well, I'm less aggressive. Well, I'm aggressive differently than he is. We express the same sort of miserable human soul in different ways, but we're the same person. And we should get along, but we don't. And it's uncanny too. I think I talked about this, but to make the long story very short, there was a problem, and my solution was, well, let's just go up there and break the fucking thing, and then nobody can have it. How about that? And then, when he found out about it, that was his reaction too. Not knowing my reaction to it, he said pretty much verbatim, well, if I were in your position, I would go up there and break the fucking thing, and then no one can have it. How about that? Which is funny. Because I imagine his father was this pretty much the same way. Pretty much the same way. Meaning, however this happens, my father wasn't physically abusive toward me, threatened me with violence enough, spanked me a number of times, but he never beat the shit out of me the way his father did to him. But I'm still a carrier of our family name, and if I have a son, he will carry the family name too. So I don't know how families impart or bequeath these curses generation to generation, but I'm gonna do the exact same fucking thing. That's part of why I want a daughter. I don't want to do to a son. I don't want to do that. That's part of my hesitations around fatherhood. I don't want to. And people will say things like, "Well, you gotta break the cycle, do things differently." Well, technically speaking, my father, quotes, broke the cycle. He didn't beat the shit out of me, but I still he turned into his father, and I have pretty much turned into my father. So maybe I won't emotionally abuse my child or scare my child or whatever. My son, rather. But he'll turn out, whatever I'll do, however I intend to do things, even if I go in with the purest of intentions, he will turn into another man from that family, from our family. That's what's gonna happen. Let me go. Let me go piss real quick. I'll grab another drink. Ow, my ass is killing me. Jesus. one of the... I don't know if I should say one of the things that gives me hope. One of the things I think about a lot is the way his father changed when I was born. My grandfather was still an egotistical, narcissistic, aggressive sort of dude after I was born, but if nobody told me what he was like when he was younger, then I would have never known it. Growing up, I would have thought, alright, he is a little brown jackass. Kinda. But kind to me. So, and it was funny because he was performing eugenics, basically. He was obsessed with whiteness. He was Uncle Ruckus, but brown. He was obsessed with whiteness, and he was so happy that I turned out white. And I thought I was just crazy, kind of noticing that over the years. But it seems like there's a resentment, and that's an interesting thing. I knew my father had a bit of a resentment against me because I turned out white and not brown. But it's sounding, now that I'm a little bit older, like there was a generational or wider familial resentment toward me because I was white and they weren't. Which, I mean, again, I'm not white. You look at my bone structure, I'm mongoloid. I'm not even gonna... We're on YouTube. I'm not even gonna try to make the joke I was about to make. Just know that it was really funny. And anyway, my grandfather changed when I was born, and apparently he tried to absolve himself of some of his sins. I don't know why he did that, because he was a Christian his entire life. Why then try to be less awful after it stopped really mattering? Why not make an effort to be a better person to your children who will be raising your grandchildren? But to hear people tell that, or stories about him, you could safely assume he would be one of these dudes who would never ever change for any reason. And maybe it's a matter of you get old and realize that you can't be Mr. Tough Guy anymore. So you necessarily adjust your strategy. Or maybe something actually does change. I'm not sure. I know people will say something changes, something internal changes, and it's this positive, great thing. Maybe it is. That's a possibility. I'm not going to say that's a certainty. Maybe my father will have a change moment. I don't know. Because it would be very easy to say probably not, but at the same time, you would assume... my grandfather would have never changed, so maybe everybody has the potential to have one of these change moments in your life. Maybe I'll have a big change moment in my life. But he didn't, but that's the other thing, is he did change, kinda. But it's more like he expressed the same soul we all share in a different way. He didn't change hard. Or he managed to, because he was still rotten. We're all rotten. We'll all always be rotten. Even no matter what we do. My father did a bunch of helping people stuff. He's still rotten. I work for a nonprofit. I'll probably continue to work for nonprofits. I'll probably continue to help people. I'm rotten. My grandfather was in the Navy. He helped save his people. Well, no, he didn't help save his people, but he helped the country kind of when it mattered. When that country mattered. He was rotten. He was so rotten. He was despised by his own race. He was despised by his own racial group. Because I suppose they have these... Maybe this was more common back then when immigrants were really flowing in like that, but they had these enclaves. Filipino enclaves. And he managed to become hated by his own people for judging them for not being white in his own space. Which lift is this? Dectus. Let me check where the other Dectus medallion is. So we have the... We have the... left. So where's the Dectus medallion right? Let's see. Dectus medallion right. Excuse me. Okay, so it is in... Wow! Okay, so it was exactly... It was in that fort that we started the stream at. We'll head over there and try to grab it. How about that? I knew one of these was in one of the forts, but I think I thought the one I picked up... Well... Shit. How many souls are we away from ranking up one more time? 2,000? Yeah, can we just do that? Can we just rank up here? Yeah, one of those. And then we need... Oh, we just need a little bit more, but we're gonna pop a 200 anyway. Because we're balling. That's what we're doing. Yeah, so we'll level up and then we'll head over to K-Lid and give that a go. Another thing... I think another reason I'm so negative about the idea of my own being a father is part of me thinks I'd be a really good father. Part of me thinks I'd be a great father, actually. All these ideas for how to beat life are not, I mean, not beat life because it's really not working very well, but rather to dodge pitfalls. That I can help with a lot. Problem is, I'm sure my father, because he was dead set on having kids, I'm sure he was thinking the same thing I would be thinking here about my own potential positive fatherness. When in reality, you need, if you're gonna have kids, you need to have an idea of how awful you are, not about how great you might be. Come on. Can I just run by here, actually? Yeah, let's do it that way. Fuck it. I'm not even gonna play with that shit. No, please. Oh, okay, God. Jeez, Manetti. But then again, that's one of the things I think about is... Or another thing I think about. My father managed to win at life for the most part. He's gotten most of what he's wanted out of life, other than a son who doesn't disappoint him. Which, I don't know, man. I'm pretty great. I don't know how you could be disappointed in this. I'm almost 30 and I'm playing video games and living at home. But he equipped me with, because I think when you're raising a child, one of the things that needs to be on your mind is what you can equip them with, what you've learned, what you can impart upon them. He gave me advice based on the world he wants to live in or wanted to live in, not on life as it is. And that's always been the case. As in, one example, you look at his finances. Okay, he's not super duper wealthy, but he has a pension, he has investments, and if something ever happened, he would be fine. For the rest of his life, he'll probably be fine. My mother will be fine. They were talking about that the other day, actually. Her retiring. Retirement is so fucked up. It's crazy that the generation that's supposed to benefit most from Social Security, because Social Security is going to be gone by the time we get to it, baby boomers, or late Gen Xers, because that's kind of their age range, they're supposed to benefit most from Social Security. But as it turns out, I don't understand how the math works, but she wouldn't really be able to retire at retirement and get the Social Security that she paid into. Now, my father put together a plan for that, so if she wants to retire, she'll be able to, but it's like I don't understand it completely. Because I thought, I knew if you retired at 67, you got the full benefits. I knew that. But apparently something's gone fucky, and now even if you retire at 62 and decide not to take the maximum benefits at 67, or start drawing at 67. Oh my god, that just killed me. There is some huge problem that retiring at 62, even and taking smaller benefits, would pose. I think it's if you earn more than a certain amount per year. And it's not even much. I think it's if you earn more than $20,000 per year and you retire at 62 to start drawing Social Security. They start taxing almost all of your money after $20,000, which is insane to me. I hate this state so much. However, it is kind of funny. It's not funny that my mother is having or will have financial problems. That's really frustrating, actually, and I kind of wish there were more Mario games that we could enjoy in response to that. However, I do hate that generation with a passion. Baby boomers and Gen X despise them. So, if boomers are beginning to have Social Security problems, I'll really enjoy watching the Social Security problems Gen X has. Nobody gets to be happy. Good. I wasn't even imagining... I wasn't ever even imagining getting anything out of Social Security, so to see them having a hard time, it just makes me so happy. That generation, I mean, again, not my family. Anyway, the reason I was getting into that was family finances. Right? So his job, because he got up to a good rank. He had access to their finance guy, who gave him a lot of advice over the years. But I don't even know what our family finances look like. I have no idea. I've... Everything financial I've figured out I've had to put together or learn for myself, which isn't that much. Golly, why do they do so much damage? And the reason I'm bringing this up is... Shit, man. If I have children, my goal will be to equip them with my knowledge, all of it, as much as possible, as soon as possible. No ideal world, no nothing. No hiding. I just don't understand that. And maybe that's a family thing. Is that something... I would wonder if that's something other families do, because it seems like that's the case for everyone on that side of the family. They don't share financial knowledge with their children. I don't get it. The issue, of course, with my idea would be you kind of don't want to fuck up your kid by giving them... by feeding them skimmerlit ideas, because what if you're wrong? That's something I'm always terrified about. What if, contrary to every experience I've lived, everything in the world I've seen, my view of the world is totally, fundamentally flawed, and this entire time, my entire life, I've been missing it. I have been, my entire life, everything, I have been basically misunderstanding what life is. And then I pass that on to my children. My dreadful worldview. When they don't need to live that way. That freaks me out. Now, I don't know, I don't think my worldview is wrong. But it could be. That's something you need to consider. I mean, my father had his idealized view of the world in which you trust the state and the Patriot Act is a good thing. And that didn't go well. That went pretty poorly. Oh my Christ! What the fuck is this shit, dude? Go fuck yourself. Majorly. Oh, that looks like a good thing, though. So maybe it was worth it. I'm gonna scream. Am I just gonna die? Or am I gonna scream? Okay, so we can go back to the Dectus lift and figure it out from there. We're not even gonna fight this asshole. And it was probably a good thing I had that weird romantic experience with that one woman, vampire woman, because that clued me into the fact love doesn't look like one thing. They're all different sorts of kinds of loves. I love my father. I do. But it is the furthest thing from you look at other people and their parents and they get along, or some, even if they have problems, they get along. Some of them do. And that's not the case here. I don't. Hold on. I need to get out of here. I need to escape. Just give me the Blood Lord and let me get away. Okay, we're out. We're free from that hell. This nightmare. And I guess we'll... I need to stop saying I mean. I've been saying that a lot lately. And that is a crutch I didn't even realize was a crutch. That's maybe I mean is the new generally. Or genuinely. And again, probably is too. I'll need to break myself of that habit. Is that... Okay, no. Yeah, let's go back to the deck dislift. The great deck dislift. Okay. I have... Oh no, 3,000. Well, maybe, yeah, actually, while we're sitting here. Forget about it, let's do it. I am pretty anxious, or I'm getting anxious as time goes on, more anxious about the prospect of dying alone. Because it's... I have no idea, ever since that last major relationship went under, it's like something has been wrong. Things just don't click romantically anymore. Or at least, even if they do click, there's always something wrong. And technically speaking, I am still young. We still have time. But you're not going to be young forever. And then you get more specific, as in... That's one of the tricky things. You need to find someone, especially if you want to have children, you need to find someone who... This is why the opposites attract thing. You need to find someone who will be or do for your children what you can't be or do for them. Oh, hold on. Excuse me. Okay. Do we teleport? Okay, yeah, I like the volcano, man. I remember doing this. But anyway, the idea that you need a partner who will cover things you can't cover. Oh, hold on. Hold the phone. Okay, cool. Very cool. Alright. I remember there were a bunch of NPC invasions you could do. I'm looking forward to those. So, partner does something you can't. One of the concerns is what happens if your partner fucks up or can't do what she's supposed to do or he's supposed to do, or fucks you over. So the idea then becomes be someone who can do everything. But at that point, why even have a partner, really? Okay, hold the phone. Okay. And you... Oh, why is he having a problem? Isn't this where that dude is supposed to be, right? Yeah, this is where Mustache Guy is supposed to be, isn't he? But I guess he's not in here. That's fine. Oh, and I didn't even sit at a site of grace, did I? Okay. Well, maybe we'll get some little mission or whatever. There was something... I know there are NPC invasions. Okay. That's fine. So, yeah, these are the NPC invasions. And... where are ya? Wait, what? Hold the phone. Why can't I equip Godric's Great Rune? Whatever. Doesn't matter. So, we need to go... Old Knight Istvan. Oh, that's the guy who helped me do something. I remember him. Okay, well that's not cool. Yeah, that's fabulously not cool. But that's okay. I mean, it's not like they can die. Or really die. Yeah, I have no idea how... And that's another thing is, around this age... I mean, if you're looking for a woman who's close to your age, usually they're already spoken for, or there's a reason they are not spoken for. Which is not a slight against women my age, or our age, because I think that's kind of starting to change. I mean, lots of women are not locking themselves down super early anymore. Maybe it's just a consequence of living. Getting around 30 has turned me into this. Maybe it's kind of crazy to expect anything else from anybody else. And when I say this, I don't mean bitterness, I mean neuroticness, kind of insanity. People talk about being afraid of love. I think a lot of people are afraid of love. Because love is spooky. Love is really, really spooky. Why is there not a site of grace up here? And that's another thing I've largely emotionally limited myself to women who make it very, very, very clear they're into you and are forward about it. Because I don't have... I don't have time, and I don't mean that in this I'm above this or that, or I don't, or my time is too good for this. I mean, I literally don't have time, both in my day-to-day life. I'm busy, I do things, and then also in life, I'm dying slowly. And I would really... How have I not found a site of grace yet, actually? I just realized that I'm fucking around up here and I don't have a site of grace. Or a stake. What the hell is happening? Is there a site of grace up here? Jesus, where is the site of grace? I mean, you can usually see them as little yellow dots out in the distance, can't you? I am sure there is, and that's another funny, well, not a funny thing, but growing up in the rural South and not really having a Southern accent. I have it here and there, slightly, but you don't hear it. If I try to speak in it, it doesn't sound like it. The only time that I sound like where I'm from a little bit is when I'm speaking to another person who's from where I'm from. And then, naturally, it comes out. Because you can't make yourself do it, unfortunately. Shit, where's a... Well, I guess we're gonna just keep running around until we find something. Yeah, we'll fuck around until we find something. Site of grace. I think another part of it is that sociopath experience tripped me up a bit. Because now... that made me doubt my instincts, which was probably the goal. I'm guessing that was part of her intention, or the game plan. Fucking with people. Proper sadism. But that's already happened. It feels like every time something like that happens, it gets a little bit worse. And that I'm less inclined to believe anything. And if you don't believe anything, then you're not going to get anywhere. At the same time, the whole reason you can't trust anything is if you've tried to trust things in the past and it hasn't worked out so well for you. And a lot of the times, most women won't make it easy for you. That's something I'm restricting myself to, or restricting myself to a little bit more is, you know, if you're interested, then fucking be interested. Because I'm flying blind. And... oh Okay, is there a little boss over here? Alright, maybe we'll do this then. But you have to think about that from the other side, too. But fuck, dude. That's the other... Ooh, what is that? Ah, no! Ah! What the fuck? Is he gonna get the... Wait, I can do this. This is like a boss. I can do this. Yeah, I can do this shit. Ah, Christ alive. No, maybe I can't. But I can. You think I can't, but I can. I can do that. Maybe I can't, but that's okay if I can't. I'll just... yeah, he delays it, don't he? Okay, alright. Christ alive. Alright, I'm dead. Oh no, I'm not dead. Wow, okay. I should be dead. Come on, asshole. Maybe I can't beat him. I mean, I could, probably, but I like dealing more damage. Ah, God. Okay, alright. Well, that's fine. Well, we know he's here. We can come back another time. Oh, God. Oh, hold on. I feel like that's not his name. Was it always Godfrey? I thought it was Godfrey, not Godfrey. I'm sure it is Godfrey. Wait, what? Oh, well, who the hell is Godfrey the Grafted? What the hell? Oh, whatever. So we'll go get the map. Yeah, we'll go pick up these two maps. How about that? Yeah, it's all... Life is getting pretty grim. I mean, we'll still not... I mean, you can't give up. You have to keep going to do whatever it is you're supposed to do while you're alive. What do you even do when you can't trust your perception, or when your perception doesn't work? I mean, change your perception, or you can try to change your perception, but the whole reason you had your perception was because it worked up to a point, so what stopped working? Life really likes dicking with you. So we'll get this, and then we'll get the other one. I want to have a good relationship with my family. I tried really hard when I was a kid to get along with my father. And then I tried to stay out of his way. And I have no idea. I'm sure there's a way to do this. I'm sure there's a way. There's gotta be. Maybe it'll be. But then again, you see people who never really get along with or never figure out how to have a connection with their family. I think maybe I'm trying in part because I can't even lie. I don't know. I don't. Most of my family members, I don't feel a lot when I speak with them. Some I do. Some I do, and those are the ones I'll make, or I'll try to make absolutely sure I connect with, at least insofar as I'm able to. Or I'll as much as I'm able to. I don't think insofar that's the way you use, or the where you use insofar. And tried so hard, and in the end, it doesn't even matter. That was the joke we were moving toward. I don't understand why everybody isn't a YouTuber. Because that's another thing, is I'll think about people's lives. YouTube is right there. I don't understand why more people don't use it. Because it's not that hard to get into it. What do people do? YouTube is... You could argue other aspects of my life are more important. Well, I mean, not argue, they are more important. But by and large, who I am is on YouTube. Skimmerlet is mostly who I am and mostly what I care about or who I care to be. Okay, so we gotta get down there. There's not really a way down there. So I think about other people's lives, and it doesn't make sense to me. Do people just play video games, or do they do hobbies? Is that fulfilling? And I'm not saying that to shit on people, because I play video games and I have hobbies and stuff, but they don't do it for me. And it would be... I think about what life might be like if it did. Hold on. Poiches. What you selling? Lightning pot. Okay, so we'll need those. What else do we need? Keys. 4,500. Okay, we can do that. 4,500. 3 of them. And then that. Okay, good. Purchase. Buy some of these. Yeah, I wish life were... Or I wish certain parts of life were naturally more satisfying. That would be cool. Golden arrows. Okay. Tunnel down there. Yeah, the pride. It's entirely about not wanting anyone to have control over me. And then the other side of it is the prestige. You're wanting this and that. We'll come through here. We'll explore it properly later. But I want to get my mining on first. Yeah, so this should be the 5-stone tunnel. Boy. I can't... Maybe it'll change with time. And I know it will change with time, is the other side of that. I can't imagine what life will look like in 10 years. Because I could have tried to imagine what life would look like in 3 years, and it didn't look like this. What is that? Rune Arc? Okay. Please let that be a 5. Yes, sir. That's what I wanted. And that's spooky. That whole... Not... I mean, what happened in the last 3 years? Basically nothing. That's frightening, because 3 years will turn into 10 years in a second. But I can't imagine... I can't imagine doing the same things I'm doing now. Well, at 40 or 50. I could... The thing is, I could actually imagine doing the same things I'm doing now at 40 or 50. But that's not really a life, or that doesn't feel like much of a life. And then you read about people who are in their 70s bumblefucking around. That might be a side case though, because how are you a baby boomer and you didn't... How irresponsible did you have to be? I would wonder. I would love to get a read on the sort of person, oh fucking Christ, who's 70 and did absolutely nothing with their life. Or has nothing to look forward to, nothing to do. Or no outlets established whatsoever. Shit, man. You know what I should do? Do you know what I should do? I should fulfill the prophecy in a really cheap and cheaty way. And I keep talking about doing this, and I keep not doing it. I should very seriously start writing porn and trying to make something of that. Because I think if I could get my foot in the door writing porn, that could be... Because that's the other thing about life I'm finding is... It's not even just about... Or it's not really about these big victories. Because, see, what you're not trying to... You shouldn't be living your life, in my opinion. You shouldn't be living your life trying to lock down big wins. What you should be doing is spending your life figuring out how to... Or unlocking the doors to paths that allow you to get big wins. Because once that door is open, once you know how to do something to succeed, then you're fine. You'll never really be out of it. As in, I know how to do YouTube in a way I'm satisfied with. This will always be here. Well, not always be here, but something like it will always be here. I'll always know how to sit down with a microphone and talk about something. Whereas I could write 15 novels. I could write 15 novels. And it wouldn't mean anything because I don't know how to publish them. That is not the situation you want to end up in. You asshole. I hate these rock dudes. Ay, ay, ya, cha, cha, cha. Okay. Maybe that's part of it. I need to figure out how can I, in what way can I do storytelling that will keep doors open, or at least keep a door open. Because at present, I don't know. The audiobook thing didn't really go anywhere. The Patreon stories didn't really go anywhere. I mean, they were fun to write, but they didn't really go anywhere. The Kindle books, they didn't go anywhere. Nobody bought them, or a few people bought them, and I appreciate the people who bought them, but nobody read them, and frankly, why would you? It's not incorporated into my brand, let's say. But then again, how do you... Let me run to the restroom again. I need to keep thinking about this. How do you make money? What do you even do? I suppose one direction to go, potentially, could be... one of those... Not one of those. I'm distancing myself from it. ASMR role plays on YouTube. That is an odd market that I would understand more if it worked better, but it doesn't. I don't know, maybe that's something to do. Start doing porn ASMRs, but then who's your... hold up. Okay, hold the phone. Christ. Ay, ay, ay. Oh my god, let me hit him for the love of Christ. Okay, I'm just gonna die here. Maybe. Hold the phone. Okay. Now, we'll get this. These guys are not that bad. It's just poise breaking them. Okay. Yep, there we go. And now we can wail on them. Perfect timing. Christ alive. Christ alive. Okay. I really enjoy that talisman. Okay, here we go. Good, 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 good. Perfect. Alright. And maybe with the porn ASMR, maybe I'm overthinking it. Well, I mean, I'm probably overthinking it. But even then, let's say we do. Ooh. What do you even do with something like that? Or where do you put it? Well, YouTube, obviously, but I'm talking about porn specifically. Maybe, I mean, porn... I wonder if there is a clips for sale equivalent for writing. Because you can't sell the stuff that sells on Amazon for some reason. I've never understood that. Why do you not want to sell the stuff that sells? Why do you want to sell only the junk? Then again, junk makes it easier to color by numbers. But still, if you're writing porn, then don't you want an author who has a point of view? For certain stories, sure. Genre in the traditional sense of color by numbers, that makes enough sense. But with porn specifically, don't you want fresh or different, strange? You would think so, but maybe not. So that's one door I wouldn't mind trying to open. We're just grinding here for a little bit. To get up to the level to level up real quick. YouTube as a door, or at least talking about stuff as a door has been opened. Because what if, I mean, oh, I keep saying I gotta break that habit. What do people... Wow, that is really unbelievably frustrating. The lock-on is killing me. Weightlifting. Weightlifting was a door that opened. But weightlifting was a door that opened because I spent... There's a skill, or there's a... Yeah, I was about to scream. If that dude killed me right there like that, that was about to be screaming. You learn the fundamentals, you learn the basics, or you get your foot in the door, let's say. But that... weightlifting is not that bad, because you can open your own door. Other situations, other people gotta open the door for you, or need to open the door for you. Or at least you'll be dealing with people to get the door open. Okay. We're not on a profitability arc. But we do think about... we are thinking quite a lot about how on earth we're supposed to make money and build a life that means anything, especially with this gloom floating overhead. But maybe the gloom isn't even really part of it. Maybe it's trying to figure out how to build a life that will satisfy you specifically. Multi-step projects are fulfilling to me. But the thing about multi-step projects is they're fulfilling as you're... oh my god, that's a curse. That's a curse. They're fulfilling only when it feels like the project matters. And a lot of projects don't feel much like they matter. Probably in part because how do you it doesn't feel like a lot matters, or would accomplish anything, I should say. These days. We had those ideas for getting involved in local politics. That ended up being pretty pointless. Because unless you're playing, unless you're willing to play these games, and for what? And the risk is high. Pissing off local political people, that is not a good idea. What you do, if you try to get involved in local politics, is first you need to build yourself up enough to be recognizable as anything first. But the issue is, if you're recognizable, or once you've built yourself up to be recognizable, that means you could be a problem because you aren't in their club. And they don't like anyone... nobody likes anybody having power that isn't theirs. But even if you want to join their club, it doesn't work. So that was pointless. Wanting to do this community stuff, wanting to build a community. We're doing that slowly, but it's not anything that matters much. Matters a ton anyway. It's more infrastructure. That's a... hold the phone. These things are spooky. Let's say you have a huge community. I see the value in a big community, but it's valuable in a schemy, scummy way that I'm not terribly fond of. But that's a taste thing, and I can get over that. Another side to the pride thing. I think part of it is we talked about not wanting people to or I don't want people to control me. I don't want anyone to have any control over me. Part of the issue there, or part of my issue within that is I view anything, I view trying to get me to listen to something I don't want to listen to as controlling me. Which is the case, actually. But it's also not a big deal, but I make it a big deal. Well, it's a big enough deal to me because I don't... It's not even the time necessarily. I hate people feeling like like I owe them anything, or like anybody owes them anything. But that's a pride thing. I need to... I'm not gonna beat it, but I can probably figure out a way to deal with it better. Christ alive. Alright, well... Oh, he's like gooning. Hardcore. Okay. That just killed me? Wow, that one shot, that's frustrating. I hate that shit. Well, we're gonna beat him though. He doesn't have a lot of health. Where is he? Where is that son of a bitch? Okay. Oh, Christ alive. He does so much damage for someone that... Well, he's not small. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Okay. Are you joking me? So I have to be at full health, like full health at all times around this dude. I can do that. That is unreal, though. And then he... That is really frustrating and baffling. Yeah, I don't like that. I really don't like that. I have 30 health too, don't I? But that's okay. Pride. Building a life. There's probably a way to cheese him. If he can one-shot me, then I can cheese him without feeling too bad. Yeah, I seriously can't believe that dude can just one-shot me like that. And it's really upsetting. Maybe I just need to stay away from him until he does something. Let me lock on, you asshole. Okay. Alright. Boy, howdy. Yeah, it's just weird. That is some bullshit. So he just keeps grabbing until he hits something? Okay. Alright, well he's done. That's some bullshit though. Tell you what. Crimson pill? Okay. Crimson. Take the crimson pill. Okay. What even is... what's in this area? Let's draw a card. Well, actually, let's get somewhere safer and then draw a card. What am I even thinking? And I'm saying even a lot, too. Please don't kill me with a curse. Oh, you can, like, ass crush someone? What? Okay. Yeah, so we'll get somewhere safer. We'll draw a card. And we'll think about something. We've been drawing a bunch of cards and we've been doing a lot of thinking. And then we might call it quits for the evening. I'm a little bit tapped. We've been doing a lot of thinking and a lot of talking about stuff and not really getting anywhere. But then again, I was about to say, well, we haven't had many opportunities to do anything, but when do you have opportunities to do something? And what would you do? You gotta set a goal. And the crux of the issue is it doesn't feel like there are any goals to set. Because shit's falling apart. Goals other than holding on to what you have for dear life. So, oh, there was way too much. There was like a little affect on that last sentence. I didn't like that. So, finally, ultimately, what is going on? Why does the noosphere feel all fucked up? And then what should we be doing? We know the risks, we know the purpose, we've done all this, we've done all that. What's going on? So we've got and okay. Wow, that's thematic. Okay. So for what's wrong, we have failure, 7 of discs. It looks like a series to me. It looks like a series of stems and plants or stems and leaves, ferns looking. Dark blue, kind of purplish. But it could be feathers. To me, I've always read it as plants. And then these plants, these stems, are connected to... I read them as coins, but they could be runes or symbols or what have you. And there are are a few runes with what I read as a dude's head, few with what looks like a buffalo, and then some that looks like a buffalo's head. There are also some astrological symbols, but I don't know those. So what's wrong in the way I read this card, and I love this card because it always feels clear. What's wrong is the garden is dead, and all that's left are lessons, or the ruins of old civilizations, wisdom left behind, if you can call it wisdom because it got them here. But it's dead, and it's cold usually, and what you're left with is information. So what's wrong is information. Or what's wrong is it's done. The garden is dead, and we're left with some information. But I guess people haven't accepted that yet because the consequences. And then I think the second thing I asked, we really need to stick to one at a time with this. I think the second thing we asked is what we should do about it. Prince of Cups. Prince of Cups is a dude standing on what looks like a chariot of sorts. He's hunched over a little bit. In his left hand, he's holding the reins, but he also has a goblet with a snake sticking out of it, sticking up toward his face. In his right hand, held down, he's holding a flower, which is also facing the ground. He's blue. His chariot is blue. He's on top of water. The water is blue. It looks like there's wind or clouds behind him, kind of misty, foggy. And the chariot is pulled by an eagle. And it's raining, and they're over water. That's the Prince of Cups. So what we should do about it, what we should do about this, is we should grieve and move on. And of course, we're thinking about this feels like the nation, but grieve and move on from what? The idea. The idea we would be able to live satisfying lives, or the old way the world was constructed was done. Is that what they mean? Is that do we need to grieve and move on from that? Fly away from it? Fly away in the rain? Probably. And that wouldn't be a bad idea. He looks so sad. He looks so sad. I'm sad. Well, I'm the feeling I'm feeling right now isn't sad, it's more dread. I am feeling a fear emotion more than I'm feeling a sad emotion, personally. Oh, is this that village? I remember this. I think I remember this. Okay. Move on. Move on from the idea of... Oh, shit. Move on from this area? I don't know. I'm at a loss. I might buy Night Rain. I've been trying to treat myself a little bit more. I bought Shadow of the Erd Tree. I haven't started it yet, obviously. Yeah, I bought Dispatch. I already said that. All I want... I think what would really fix this is having something in my life that is all-consuming and worthwhile. Because right now, all we're doing is subsisting. I mean, it doesn't feel like we're... This is a weird sort of subsisting because we have a lot of shit going on. But there's no... Well, there's no forward movement, obviously. We've been saying that for the last while. We need to overcome the fact no, it doesn't feel like there are any goals. Do we suck it up and do something despite the fact it's probably not going to work, and then hopefully the universe will surprise us? Maybe. That feels kind of good. That feels kind of right. Maybe. Maybe just start trying things? I'm not sure. That's another question, is how long should you stick with something you aren't sure about or that isn't showing results? Because there's some people who will spend a lot of their lives investing in something that's not working, and then it finally works. There are just as many people, or probably more people actually, who do a lot of shit and then nothing ever happens. I'm not sure. Okay. I was talking about closing the stream. For some reason I don't feel like it yet. I don't know why. I should. It's late. I actually haven't eaten yet today. I think earlier I ate some crackers and cheese, which is not really a meal. And I don't have work tomorrow, but I do have shit to do. Oh, they get angry face. Oh shit, what was that? They bite themselves? What do they get by biting themselves? Oh, they bite themselves to proc bleed. Okay. I can't even get to the end of the combo, but that's okay. Please, criminy. Okay. Alright. Boy. It'll never cease to confuse me. I mean, no, actually, it's not confusing the moment you think about it. How or why good leaders are so rare. It's because they're situational, probably. And they're deeply based in your opinion. What you think is a good leader is probably not a good leader for everybody, as if there's some objective idea of a good leader. Because if you want to try to be detached about it, which I hesitate to say objective. Wow, what a dickhead. Would you measure it on outcomes? Would you measure it on... Because if you're measuring it strictly on your satisfaction, that's not really a great leader. Or you could say your satisfaction and outcomes, but that doesn't mean everybody is satisfied with that leader. Dude, I have no idea... Oh, that's a crutch. That's gonna be a crutch that I gotta stop right there. No dudes. I have no idea why... Not I have no idea why. I have no idea how these grand leaders are able to lead people in the manner they do or did when they lived, when the great leaders walked the earth. It's got to be smoke and mirrors, right? Because everybody is such collectivism doesn't exist first. People are so not interested in sacrificing at all to achieve a greater goal, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, nobody ever is. But how on earth do these super great leaders get control of people and then keep it? Lying seems to be part of it. I'd lie like that in a second if I could figure out how to. But unfortunately, there aren't many great opportunities to practice lying. In person, anyway, because if you're... I hate that I grew up essentially specking into... Oh, shit. Essentially specking into being prey. That's what I was trained to do. I was trained to be an easy target. I don't care for that much at all. Yikesies. Christ alive! Ooh. Oh shit! Yeah! No! Go, stay down! Please, Christ. I'll get the shield out. Please, God, don't fuck with me like this. Okay. Alright. Oi. Lord have mercy. I was not expecting dude to roll up like that. So now we start specking into endurance again, and then we'll so on and so forth. Anything back here? Yeah, I have no idea how these great leaders are able to control people, or are able to lie in that fashion. Because it can't just be lying. They have to be able to do something, or is it all shock and awe? The thing about that is, the part of the thing I don't understand is how people who use showmanship or shock and awe, these crazy events to control people, how they keep it from getting stale. Because it's crazy the way something one person does, they do the same thing. But one person does it, they're perceived in a negative way. Another person does it, they're perceived in a positive way. How on earth... As in... How do you make something entertaining and not come across as attention-seeking? I'm not sure. Or if a non-great leader tried to do great leader stuff, it would come off as pathetic, is what I'm getting at. Jeez, Manetti. So we'll go back down there, and then poke around or something. We need 20,000. Maybe we'll pop a few of those and level up just for the fun of it. So, right, that should get us close, right? Okay, so 3 of those. Yeah, 3 of the 200s. And then we can rank up. Oh boy. Alright. I think that'll do it for the evening. Thank everybody for coming out, and maybe we will do this again sometime.